So you gotta let them know, truthfully, if they got Swiss cheese ain't gonna cut it, right? You can't sit there and be on the phone with somebody and validate their Swiss cheese. If somebody's got Swiss cheese, the best favor you can do to them is say, listen, you got holes, dude. And anytime your confidence gets shaken or your stats drop, you look at it and go, okay, what did I not do on these 3 things? And maybe, to start, you need one thing you go back to. That's enough. Just one thing I always go back to. I believe that of what's most important to the client is the most important thing. That's why I shared that with you guys, Paul, a couple months back. It's because when you start to realize that the program has maybe 5% to do with it, and their most important goal and their trust with you has 95% to do with it, you'll realize that it's 100% in your control. The big reason they're enrolling is because they trust you. The big reason they're not enrolling is because they don't trust you. And they'll only trust you when they know that they're clear on what's important to them. And once they start trusting themselves, they'll trust you. Because the reason they don't enroll at the end is because they don't trust themselves. When they trust themselves and they know what's most important, they'll go, wow, this is so great. And then they'll look at you and they go, I trust you too. Because you're the one who helped them get to what's most important to them. The two go hand in hand. But they have to trust themselves. And the only way you can get them to trust themselves, they either come into the call and they trust themselves, which most of the time they don't, but some of them do because they have high confidence. Or they'll come into the call, which most of them won't trust themselves. And if they don't trust themselves, you have to get them to a place of clarity and confidence, which will build trust in themselves. And then they'll go, I trust you too, because you're the one who got me to this place. And then the program is like, oh, these steps will get me there, great. But the program literally has 5% to do with it. You know why? Because it's a total and complete uncertainty and unknown. And that's just a fact. They don't know what they're going to get, guys. They may know me and they see my stuff and they're like, wow, this guy's cool. They don't know what's inside my programs. They may see me everywhere, and what does that do? When they see me everywhere, the only thing it instills upon them is confidence and trust. Oh, I see him everywhere. He must be successful. And then they get off, because you're the one who helped them get there, all of a sudden, they go, I trust you because you helped me get there. And then they're going, well, yeah, I want to be in Ted Mcgrath's program because I see him everywhere, and the fact that he's everywhere, that's where I want to be, but that's the credibility piece with me. I'm only the credibility piece. You guys are the trust piece. And that's the thing you got to get straight. If they're not enrolling, it's because they don't trust you. It's that simple. And they don't trust you because they're not clear on what they want. And if you stick to that as the principle, and you get those certainties in place for them, because that's what they need. They need a certainty. They need a certainty in themselves. That's what they need. When they have certainty in themselves and they go, I'm clear and confident, and they get certainty through clarity of what they want and clarity of what's most important to them. The moment they get that, they get certainty in themselves. Remember, even when you explain the program to them, it will still be an unknown. That's the thing you got to get. It'll only be a certainty to them when they get into it. So you should never have your focus on how amazing the program's great. It's the steps that's going to help you. You know what's amazing is your goals. That's why it's going to be amazing, because you're committed to your goals, so you know what you want. Of course the program works. It works. Works for our clients are rocking it. Works for Ted. I mean, that's really all you need to say. You see Ted everywhere. Credibility's there. Right? We're killing it online. We're killing it in our business. I think we did almost $200,000 in sales last week, so you guys know. It's pretty good, right? In a week. So when you look at that, yeah, it's pretty good. And that's just Facebook. I don't know what the rest of the company did in terms of like recurring revenue on stuff, but almost 200,000 directly related to Facebook. So when you look at that, that's phenomenal numbers. So you just need to be able to share with people, like, you know, here's what we're doing, here's the credibility, it's there. And that's just, what does that take? That's 60 seconds of your call. They hear the stats, that creates certainty. So that's a known, right? So if they know the stats and credibility of us, that's a principle. That's a certainty, that's a known. They've seen me, they know, and then now, okay, here's our stats, here's what we're doing, we're making millions with what we're doing. Fantastic, right? So they have certainty. I have CTED everywhere, that's great. Then you help them get clarity on what they want and confidence in that, then they get certainty in themselves. Once they have certainty in themselves, they have trust and certainty in you. And the only thing there left that's unknown is the program. That's still an uncertainty. So if you're focused on that, you're not going to have 100% confidence in them. They'll only have certainty on that once they do it. Which is the reverse of how people think. They go, well, you know, I have to, you know, focus on how great the program is and blah, 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 blah. No. Anybody who's ever gotten a result, even from a program, they don't even give a shit about the program. They just care about how it makes them feel to the result they got. It's still not about the program once it happened. So they're not running around going, this program is so great because the program's so great. They're going, you know, I'm going to refer you to this guy because why are they referring you? Because their results are great. It's all about them. And until you get that figured out, until you stop making it about the program and trying to convince them about the program, you'll fail in sales. But being great, you know, being more than a sales professional, which is what this is. Because a sales professional, they'll pick up a piece of pencil and they'll tell you why, tell you why it's great. They'll pick up a program, tell you why it's great. But they're not going to be the best, they're not going to get the best results. The person who's going to get the best is somebody who's going to be a sales coach. It's very different than a sales professional. They're two different things. So if you just stick to what you're doing and you get to what's most important to them, you're going to get to the end and you're going to be in power because you've empowered them. Does this make sense? If you ever get off and you're like, oh my God, I feel like I lost my power, it's because you started to make it about you trying to sell the program or you trying to convince them on it versus you trying to get them clarity for them to own their goal. When they own their goal, you're not the convincer. Even on the high-end sales that we're doing with people, we're getting them to the next level, the people who are ready, they're ready. You just got to get them clarity. So that's what I want you guys to focus on this week because that is what's going to change the game. And just use it, we'll call it a stable confidence point, right? Where it's just like the moment I lose my confidence and I'm like something didn't go my way, did I find out what was most important to them and did I sell them on it at the end? That's stable confidence point number one. Stable confidence point number two is, did I find, if they were objecting, did I find out their money situation? And did I get off the phone with certainty that I did my job? Those would be the two things I would look at. If I had two things in sales to ever look at, that would be it. Because if I am able to handle their money situation, guess what? Handling an objection isn't hard. Because it's just as personal. Checks and balances on, and when I look at it, it's not costing you business anyway because the woman couldn't get approved, but we'll own that and we'll get on the phone with you guys Wednesday to talk through it. But and even the case with the guy who got approved for the 100,000, apparently from what I heard, he said that he's getting ripped off. That's just not the case, bro, because any one of your clients can get their money back on this, the money they put in. So there's no loss whatsoever to your clients on this. If somebody can get a better deal somewhere else, feel free to go do it. But we'll explain that situation to you so that you understand the point of view we're coming from. Because when I look at it, I'm super fucking rational, dude, on this stuff, and I can see what's what and what's not. And I'm gonna go through with you guys what's what and what's not. So you're clear, because you can get into the he said, she said, but there's a factual process of this. It can easily be sorted out, and we'll talk through it. And there's even the cases where where people said that Bill dropped the ball, and I'm open to hearing the sides of what your client said. But when we look at it, we can actually see the person logged in. We have documented stuff, dude, of the fact that they logged into the membership at this date. There were calls available for them to book with our team. The fact that they weren't on their timeline doesn't mean that there weren't calls available to speak to our team on things. So I want to talk to you about it so we're on the same page. I think at the end of the day, you might end up with 200,000 approved of business that comes through from this. So I actually feel really good about what happened in terms of the process, and I'm open to other facts on it. But I've dug into the facts on my end, and we'll own one aspect of it that I see right now. And if there's other things that come up the phone that I'm not aware of, I'll own it. I'll always own responsibility when it's the case, but I want to make sure we get the facts laid out on the table. So there's no bullshit. People make up stuff, dude, and that's just the bottom line. And I'm not saying that people did make up stuff on your end in situations that I don't know about, but there are situations where people did make up stuff, and we need to talk about it so that you're not getting misinformation, okay? And if anybody on my team ever makes up shit, it'll be the fucking last time they do. I can tell you that much right now, okay? I'll talk to you soon. Cheers. If you need some training on that, Tammy, let me know. I'll give you some training on it. But this guy's clearly does not understand what goes into what he needs, okay? He's doing one thing, and he needs something entirely different right now. And probably the most basic thing is he needs to get trained on sales, because if he was good, he'd have money in his bank account. Dude, if somebody's living in a fortress, and they got a fortress, and they got solid stuff, you know, they got the bridge, and you can cross it, and they got a palace, and they're like, their business model is good, you tell them. But if you're talking to somebody, and they're like justifying reasons why they're not going to enroll, and I'll just go do this thing, right, or I'll do this, and it makes no rational sense, you got to tell them they're fucking living in Swiss cheese, man. Like, their castle, it's not even a castle, they got a string of cheese, and they got holes in their cheese, and it's not protecting them from the rain and the alligators. The alligator's gonna eat your with one tooth, the alligator's gonna eat your cheese. So when you're on a sales call with somebody, and at the end of the day, they're not living in a castle, which they think they are, that's okay, you gotta tell them the truth. A lot of people think they know what it takes to build something, and they think they're living in a fortress, or they have the raw materials to build a fortress, or a fort, like a palace, and they got Swiss cheese, dude, and dudettes. You can't build a fucking palace or a fortress or a whatever you want to build, a castle out of Swiss cheese. So you gotta let them know, truthfully, if they got Swiss cheese ain't gonna cut it, right? You can't sit there and be on the phone with somebody and validate their Swiss cheese. If somebody's got Swiss cheese, the best favor you can do to them is say, listen, you got holes, dude. Get reality points here. You gotta get somebody in reality. Most people are out of present time. They're in some past fucking life thinking that they're doing something else, and really they're in present life, and they don't realize that all the fame and the fortune that they had 3 years ago in building their new business don't mean shit, okay? If you don't have it today, if you don't have the money in your bank account, right, and you're not making the sales, you need sales training, right? If you don't have leads coming in, right, and you don't have qualified people to get on the phone with, you need marketing training. I don't care how much of a hero you were with 20 years ago or 10 years ago or 2 minutes ago. You don't got it today, you ain't got shit, all right? See you soon.